Oh, Madfest, make some noise! Hello, it's Joe and Georgie are coming. Hello, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Lee. Hi, I'm a comedian. I'm not lost. I have done marketing before. Hello, lovely ladies. Hello, hello. Oh, you look terrified of me, madam. Please don't be. I'm not coming on to you. I think that's quite clear. Now, listen, I got into comedy. I'm a comedian now. That's my professional job. I know, I'm as shocked as you are. But I used to work as a brand ambassador, okay? And so I've done it all. I've done the good jobs, and I've done the fucking shit jobs, all right? I've done data capture in Birmingham Bullring. I know, life hasn't always been kind. It hasn't. I remember actually in the Bullring once, I had to do data capture, and I remember I do love... Are there any Brummies in? Okay, you might want to leave. No, I do love Brummies because they don't sugarcoat it, all right? And I will never forget, I was in the Bullring and I said to this guy, I said, oh, what's your name? And he went, David. I went, surname? He went, Stein. As in shit stain. I was like, okay, thank you. Stain on your trousers, stain on your carpet, shit stain, lovely. And I've done them all. I've handed out Fanta, I've handed out free cans of Fanta in Wigan, all right, and I was a brand ambassador for that. So we are now going to talk about what is authenticity from a brand ambassador point of view, from a staffing point of view, and for a brand point of view, okay? So they said, come to Manfest, oh my God, that's like Freudian slip. I was like, that's probably why I agreed. No, they said it's be less boring, and we're going to have a laugh with it. I don't want it to be like fucking LinkedIn Live and all that shit. They said it's like Glastonbury for marketing, okay, but with less music and more drugs. So, without further ado, please welcome two dear friends of mine from Joseph, head of brand marketing. Make some noise, Madfest, for Georgie Gough, everyone! Oh, Georgie! Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Take a seat. And he is my ex-boss. He's my ex-boss. I used to work with him when I did this. Dear friend, the MD of Elevate Global, Joe Sheppard, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise.
I don't get a kiss.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Georgie, you can go. No. Yeah, we wanted to talk. Oh my God, this is like a little chat show, isn't it? Love it. Okay, no one gives a shit. Lovely. We wanted to talk. So, Joe, you work for Elevate Global, right?
I do.
And just give a brief synopsis, if anyone doesn't know, of Elevate Global.
Okay. So definitely no hard sells. We're a staffing agency. Many of you will come to us or someone equivalent and look for your brand ambassadors, your event managers to deliver your wonderful experiences brilliantly.
Yes.
And this is what you did.
That's what I did way back when. And Georgie, Joseph, I love your fucking chopping boards.
That's what everyone tells me.
But give us an overview.
So basically, either you, your mum, your gran loves our chopping boards, toilet brushes, laundry bins, and
corkscrew.
Corkscrew, you're obsessed. You've done us some free content. I could not be happier.
Thank you.
You'll be getting more after this. And yeah, it's designs with a twist.
Perfect. So we wanted to kind of discuss authenticity, and we were chatting, weren't we, about like, it's a word that everyone kind of bandies about, and no one really knows what it means. And, you know, from when I used to work as a brand ambassador, I was very much myself, but also you had to kind of do it within the realms of the brand itself and their kind of authenticity. So we've got 3 questions that we're going to go into. Chris Whitty, next slide, please. Chris Whitty. Do you know all know what I mean that? Next slide, please. What's the first question? Is anyone... Oh, yeah, next slide. Sorry, I didn't realize that was clear. Sorry, love, sorry. So our first question that we've come up with. Oh, we have one.
Now.
Oh, thank
yes.
you. I thought that was something else. It was vibrating. No. What does authenticity really mean for brands today, and why is it more important than ever for staffing? Mm-hmm. Georgie, what about for brands?
I mean, a lot of people put it in strategies. We all have beautiful Canva decks talking about authenticity, putting in buzzwords about it, but it's not a strategy, it's just a way of operating. And I think if something feels tokenistic, it probably is. And if there's any kind of gut instinct when you're looking at campaigns, ambassadors, and you feel like it's being done or paid for. We all can see it with other brands, so we should kind of look at that internally. And I think in a world of AI and digital environments, actually in real life events and experiences and the human element has become tenfold more important than ever, and events are actually now purely designed for that online experience as well. So people and the energy that people bring is actually probably something that's the last thing that's looked at the budget sheet. But realistically, people writing the strategy, you're not the right people in the room to get everyone hyped up and getting their phones out at an event. So it's actually something that I think needs a lot more consideration.
Yeah, and as well, because I remember when I first started in staffing, like social media was a thing, but it wasn't really, we never had to like do social media. All we often had to do is we had to get pictures of like, I'd say to this woman, oh, can you stand here? And it would be like a tin of dog food, and I'd be like, and that was all it was, just to show that you've been on the job or whatnot. But social media now, people can see, and you can even see this, I think, through just general people online, even if they're representing their own brand. You can sniff out inauthenticity straight away, can't you?
Yeah.
But from a staffing point of view, is that something that you've always thought of?
It's huge, and I think where we are in the ecosystem, we don't always actually have the opportunity to impact it in terms of decision making. There'll be a really clear brief. We need this, and I think sometimes my favourite clients and some of the best work we've done is where the client really buys into Lee, or they want Moses back, or they actually really consider the character, not. And I hate to say it because we've gone so far from when I first started many years ago, but still, this idea that I want an Italian-looking person for my Italian brand, or I want this, and that's still a thing. So that's so inauthentic, to the point where here's a profile of an Italian person. No, thanks, we'll have Dave from Romford because he's got dark hair. And it's like that control element is really important because you want the personality. It's really so hugely important. We always obviously strive to push that to the front of mind when it comes to this is your team and this is why you should have them. But actually, there's still some work to do for everyone to properly invest that time. You said it yourself, it's a line item, and often it's a big line item. So it might actually be a cost decision, or it might be a timing thing. But yeah, there needs to be more control in there.
Yeah, and I think from my point of view, from when I worked there, and I can certainly speak for a lot of, I've made some amazing friends through staffing, Brett. Wasn't talking about you. You are a good friend, but like who were on the field with us, and brands will sit there in a meeting room and go, what are our core things that we want the staff to say? And sometimes you want people to go away, especially on those experiential events, with a kind of feeling rather than information. Like, I think it's always better to get a feeling about something. And Fanta, for example, I always remember they were really strict with, it was years ago, we just had to hand out these mini cans of Fanta. And I don't know if anyone, you probably relate, but when the public see free shit, they're feral. They're like, so it was just handing out left, right, and center. And I remember the client saying, like, dead cert, like, you have to say, same taste, more fun, every time you gave out this mini can of Fanta. And it'd be like, same taste, more fun, same taste, more fun, same taste, more fun. And you became this kind of like capitalist parrot almost, where you didn't really believe what you're saying. They didn't really understand it. I actually remember one guy coming up shouting, how can you give out Fanta? That was invented during World War II under the Nazi regime. You're supporting Nazis. And I was like, same taste, more fun. Like, what the fuck do you say to that shit? Do you know what I mean? I literally was like, thanks, same taste, more fun. And it's that kind of, well, it was. And it was that thing where you're just like, oh, okay, like, here. So, and I'm not saying you have to kind of go the complete other way. I wasn't tap dancing in or whatever. But there's a balance to be made, I think, from brands and staffing, where you go away with a feeling as opposed to, oh, this is what the brand represents.
Exactly, and I think there's a difference between, obviously, there's venue costs for events. You can, like pay influencers, talent, but there's no one that understands how to bring an energy up into a room because the F&B, their venue staff, they're not there to represent your brand. So I think that's also a really important consideration. It's like, what's going to make people get their phone out and have a great time and a great experience that's going to translate onto your digital channels it is having the people in the room that's going to make them be like, oh, this brand's really cool. Like, everyone there was amazing. I had all these connections with people, had a great time, and that's a genuine experience.
100%.
And the authenticity in this as well is really important, because I would always love to work with you, for example, but Lee wouldn't always be authentically right for what we were representing. So, and you talk about the brand, obviously has really set guidelines and objectives. What do we want to achieve? So we can't go like completely off piece. You need to stay in your lane, but having the ability to have someone bring some kind of empathy, bring some comedy, bring some kind of advice, and actually be a human in this conversation is really, really important.
And human connection, like when we're losing it more and more for AI. Next slide, please.
Oh, it's me. Bing.
Oh, for fuck's sake, that's me, that's me. All right, so what happens when brands, that's me in the gold,
Start an OnlyFans.
get it wrong, and how can they avoid the trap of forced authenticity? Well, I always think from a pride point of view, I always think about this.
Yeah.
When you see brands that you clearly know that on the 1st of June, they're like ironing their pride flags, and then by July 1st, it's like being fucking recycled or whatever, and you don't fully think that they're invested in it. And it was like I was saying earlier, I think you can sniff out when brands are forcing stuff. Is that something that have you ever, like, from a staffing point of view, pushed back on a brand when they've asked for certain things and you know that actually it's not going to work? Oh.
No.
No.
Because the brand's always right. No, what I think the point is with this, and a lot of our clients, our agencies, is, and I go back to this, the people who really engage and really kind of are up for receiving feedback are the ones that have the most success with their teams. And some of the projects you'll see are like vast spend and infrastructure, and then they don't massively give a toss about the team that are there. Like, it's a line item, get them along. Yes, there's training, we want them to look great and the rest of it, but they're not overly engaged. Those are the ones where we would say, come on, like, I feel like you should meet the guys, or the world we're in now, we have video profiles, so you've got the opportunity to actually get a snip of their personality, even if you're not paying for it. Take that time, because the investment of that time is huge. So we would always, for me it was always, I don't like to say, here's 50 profiles, you choose 10, because that's our job. You wouldn't go to a quick fit and say, I've got this knocking in my engine, I think it's this, or you let them deal with it, right? So in my world, I'm really keen to say, that's your best team and this is why.
Yeah. And I think and like we said earlier, I don't know if you have this, but from brand point of views where however many of you will sit in a meeting room and come up with all of this, and then as it trickles down, it's almost like it gets forgotten. Would you think that?
And I think it probably gets braver. I think that initial big sky, your gut instinct is like, oh my God, let's do this, it'll be really fun. This is a great idea. And I think the more rounds of review and the more that deck gets tapered down, the more boring it gets, which is such a shame, because I've been in those meetings and the end result is nothing what the start was. And I feel like there's so much looking at over our shoulders at every other brand and all the competitors and being like, oh, so-and-so just did this, we should do this, or they've just used this influencer. And actually, when people get it wrong, like Converse with Amelia de Moldenberg,
Amelia, yeah.
I mean, that made the Daily Mail bar of shame. And I was like, oh God, that's a bad day in the office. Everyone who was like, oh yeah, let's get her chicken shop date, it'll be amazing, didn't translate because they were trying to tap into her authenticity, but put her in a completely alien environment, and it couldn't rub off on them. Really, it should have just been shot in her chicken shop and do something like that. But
yeah, and I guess if you strip that down from a kind of basic point of view, if you weren't using, she's got millions of followers, but if you were just not investing in the person and the staffing, and I appreciate sometimes it's who's available when, etc., etc. But if you're really not that tapped into what you want as staff, I remember working for brands, and if they also if they didn't not look after us, but if they just were just like, oh yeah, go and do that, you weren't invested in the brand, you didn't care about the brand. I don't care about Fanta. I don't, it was that kind of thing where it's just like, oh, but if they kind of had this foresight to go, right, let's properly kind of work with the staff here of how we can create something. I think that's where you basically get from both sides, for the staffing and the brand point of view, where it just merges together. Oh my God, we've got 30 seconds left. We haven't even done our third question. What the hell?
I think I'm all right with that. I would like to put a caveat in there that I really like Fanta. In case any in the room, it seems like you're really going in on them, mate.
Sorry, I love a nice, refreshing Fanta.
No, what was it?
Same taste, more fun.
That's us.
There you go.
Thank you very much. I think that's us, right?
No, well, I was going to say, just before we've got to go, what, if you were going to say one thing from a brand point of view, what is the main thing for authenticity? What is authenticity for a brand?
I think making it operational, not making it strategy, and also just making sure that any event, immersive experience, influencer tie-in, partnership, all of that is actually aligned with, yes, the objective, but gut instinct, is it right for your brand? Is it going to translate into a digital audience? And in a real life event, add kind of the right staffing is never something that's on the budget sheet, but is definitely worth pushing.
And what about from a staffing point of view?
I mean, it's really straightforward to be authentic when you're a human being. Do they buy into it? Are they connected to the event, the product? Are they actually bought in? Do they care? And if they do, I think it changes everything, because you're talking peer-to-peer, you're talking to your target market, and it's a proper connection, rather than toss it off. I'm here for the money, I don't care what it is, and then go to the next one the next day. And that counts from my end, but also from client end as well.
I also think it counts from just a human end, doesn't it? Whether it's marketing or other.
Well, they also say they've done a research piece where the part of your brain where you recall your favourite brands is the same place where you keep your friends and your family. So the more reinforcement of positive experience in human connection, you're reinforcing that recall, and that's brand love, and that's branding at the end of the day, isn't it? So.
Well, thank you. This talk has been sponsored by Fanta. And no, thank you so much. Do we just leave now? All right. See ya.
Thanks.
Thank you.